better outside.
This is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
Alrighty, crew, it is Memorial Day. It is Monday. It is May 25th. Welcome to Peaks to Plains Weather Mornings with Meister Live. I am Matt Meister. Couple things to talk about off the front here as we get the morning underway. Big weekend in the Meister household. My daughter, our youngest, graduated on Friday from the Classical Academy. A wonderful ceremony, a wonderful baccalaureate service on Thursday night, awesome graduation parties. You know, a really, really cool class of kids, and it makes me think that, you know, we are going to be okay with the next generation. Some really caring kids, hearing some of the stories, and obviously, I mean, experiencing them over the last 4 years, and she went to school with a lot of these kids all 12 years at TCA. So it was just kind of great to see. The other thing today, Memorial Day, and Mary and I stand with the families of those that have paid the ultimate price in service to our country. I know lots of people kind of get lost in all the hubbub of the holiday weekend and grilling and hanging out with people and that sort of thing. But for some families, this is a really, really tough time. And we understand that, and we want to stand in solidarity with you. So I just don't want that to be lost on what today is really about. Lots of folks go out to the cemeteries and place flags on the gravestones of our veterans, and my mother-in-law is doing that today up in Denver. So, a really... just remember the purpose of not having to work today if you are off. I think that's really, really important. Okay, let's jump into kind of where we are here early this morning as we get our morning underway. And I'll start off with kind of a contrast of how today will be similar and different from yesterday. So Joan sent me this shot of some virga yesterday. This was in the middle of the day. She sent it through Facebook. And she's like, "What is this?" And I was a little heartbroken because I'd been talking about virga for days and days on end. But when it looks like someone took a paintbrush and went like at the bottom of the cloud like that right there, that's some rain that is leaving the base of the cloud and not making it down to the ground. That produces pockets of cooling, gusty wind, and it's something that's part of our climatology here in southern Colorado because we have pretty dry, low levels of the atmosphere. And so it's something that we get quite often around here, something you should be aware of. And when you see that, it means that there might be some lightning around, but also some cooling, gusty wind. So what's happening here, and this is, my infographic looks a lot like that picture, right? So if you have real dry air in the subcloud layer, those raindrops have far enough to fall that evaporation happens. Evaporation is a cooling process, which ends up making the air below the cloud denser than the surrounding air because of gravity. It pulls that down to the surface, hits the ground, spreads out in all directions. When conditions are right, you can get microbursts. Locally, we just get some downbursts most of the time and some cooling, gusty wind. And yesterday, the virga that was out there and the wind gusts that we had were welcome. It was 93 in Lamar yesterday. That was the warm spot. Hit 88 in Pueblo, Colorado Springs. Almost hit 80 officially. Lots of 70s over the mountains and valleys. I think our temperatures will be pretty similar out there today. As our morning begins, a lot of us running about 5 to 15 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. And it puts our temperatures in the 60s in some spots. La Junta's sitting at 64 early this morning. You flip those numbers around, you get Alamosa's number at 46. Gunny is the cool spot this morning, except for Aspen. Both locations are running in the upper 30s. So that's kind of where we are from a temperature perspective. Real quiet start to the day here. Quite a bit of sunshine, calm wind in Monument early this morning. Good morning in Canyon City. Welcome to Memorial Day as we sit in the 60s this morning. If you're traveling up to Denver, you won't have any issues heading through Castle Rock. Obviously, volume on the interstates is a little bit lower than what we normally have with the number of people that are off early this morning. Our forecast for today is a little bit different than what we've had the last couple of days because moisture is on the increase. That is part of our forecast here as we head into the start I guess I should say final day of the holiday weekend. You can see some showers moving north across Arizona and New Mexico. There's an area of low pressure there that is out ahead of an upper level system coming into the Pacific Northwest. See the clouds moving toward Portland there? That's going to be the dominant weather feature for the week ahead. And as that continues to move eastward, it's going to kick this area of low pressure over Arizona, kind of off to the northeast here through tomorrow. That slug of moisture that you see will be moving through the area on Tuesday morning. As it gets closer, we start to drop the surface pressures off to our west. That's going to induce a increase in low-level moisture that we'll notice a little bit today, more so as we head into Tuesday with the southeast breeze happening over the plains overnight. So here's how things play out. We hit the middle part of the afternoon today, and we've got dew points in the 20s and 30s, which is a little bit higher than what we had yesterday. And so there is a better chance of getting some water down to the surface compared to what we had on Sunday, and at least wetting the sidewalk. There's still going to be some virga out there, so you'll still have some pockets of some cooling, gusty wind. And as we head through the afternoon here, just know that with the radar sort of looking like it did yesterday, there's a better chance of some of this making it down to the ground. I wouldn't cancel any plans today, but temperatures will be about the same as yesterday, so some natural air conditioning will again be welcome. And we'll watch the southeastern corner of the state in the evening. So kind of from Trinidad to La Junta to Eads and off to the southeast for a couple different reasons. The storms that try to develop in southern Colorado today will collapse. That helps moisten up the low levels of the atmosphere. But there's also some storms a little bit farther to the southeast off my map here. And the low-level moisture associated with those starts rushing into southeastern Colorado, partly in response to that area of low pressure I showed you over Arizona. So there might be an increase in some thunderstorm activity there as we get some outflow boundaries running into each other. Low-level moisture is increasing. We'll keep our eye on that through the early part of the evening. No severe weather expected, but maybe some bursts of rain. And like I said, if you catch some clouds, you catch some of that outflow, some of that sort of downbursty kind of wind today, I think you'll welcome it as we are really, really close, high temp-wise, to what we had on Sunday. Tomorrow, though, will be a cooler day. And you see the numbers over the plains drop about 10 degrees. I think the mountains drop about 10 degrees as well. So instead of the 70s, we'll have 60s as we kind of get back to a normal schedule on Tuesday and, kind of move past the holiday weekend. And that is for a couple different reasons. There's going to be more water in the atmosphere and clouds around and maybe some showers over the mountains as the day begins. So we wake up on Tuesday with dew points in the 40s. That's a noticeable jump from what we'll have out there today. And watch what happens overnight into early Tuesday morning. That area of low pressure starts drawing up from the south, and we'll get some showers. That'll be oriented from southeast to northwest, south of Highway 50, along and west of I-25 as we begin the day. Mainly rain, but some thunderstorms perhaps embedded in there as well, especially over the southwestern part of Colorado. The increase in moisture overnight also keeps our temperatures up. We'll be well into the 50s over the eastern plains. We'll have 40s over the mountain areas as well. And we're just getting to the time of year where we're going to start leaving the threat of freezing temperatures behind. Now, moisture moves over the mountains in the morning, and the earlier arrival of this system than it looked like a couple days ago affects our thunderstorm chances tomorrow a little bit because it takes some of the oomph out of the atmosphere with the showers around in the morning. Now, I do expect we'll see some thunderstorms develop tomorrow, but they're not going to be as widespread as I've sort of been thinking here for the last couple of days. Just something to be aware of on Tuesday. And the farther east you go, you may miss out on some of that activity here as we head even into the evening. So that's something to be aware of. Now, as we move into Wednesday, even though that first wave is kind of kicking off to the north, we've still got enough water around, still enough instability on Wednesday that we will see some scattered showers and thunderstorms develop, more so over the mountains and the far eastern plains than what we'll have in the cities. Behind that, I think we get into a drier stretch here as we head into Thursday and Friday. So while Colorado Springs, Pueblo, even Monument, probably out toward La Junta, we don't see a ton of action here on Wednesday. There will be more water around that day than what we'll have Thursday and Friday, and it'll still kind of be one of the cooler days of the week on Wednesday with temperatures in the 70s to around 80. So that's what our short-term forecast sort of looks like here. The best chance of thunderstorms for most areas may be coming Wednesday out of the next couple of days. Lots of you saying good morning this morning. Martha, thanks for starting your day with us. We appreciate that. Susan says it's a beautiful morning in Palmer Lake. Donna says good morning to Matt and Mary. You know, Mary this week is off with her kids, her boys, on an annual trip they do to the beach. So she's not going to be doing weather here too much this week. She'll probably check in on social media if you want to follow her on Facebook and Instagram. She may give an update or two. I'm not sure what her plan is with that. But I'll be running the weather here the next couple of days. And so, nothing I haven't been doing for the first part of 2026 here on Peaks to Plains Weather. I'm glad she's getting some time away. Maria says good morning, y'all. And Richard says good morning as well. Richard's got his, what do they call those? Avatars? Is that what we call those? little thing there. I don't know if Richard was in the service or if that's a Memorial Day thing, but if you were, sir, thank you very much for your service. All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with the extended forecast right after this. You're on Peaks to Plains Weather 24/7 here. This is Mornings with Meister on this Memorial Day.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
At Phil Long Ford Motor City, we've been around for 80 years. 560 in dog years. Basically, we're the top dogs of Colorado. And thanks to our deals, selection, and service, we've earned some pretty loyal customers. And our GM Mark, he's the most loyal guy I know. Even after I chewed up his shoe, it was delicious.
Great trucks, amazing deals, and belly rubs for dogs. Come see why Colorado drives Phil Long Ford Motor City. Hey guys, where's my shoe?
For over 20 years, my family, like so many of you, has proudly been part of Broncos country.
Every season, we feel the energy, passion, and commitment that defines this team.
And now we are honored to be the official injury law partner of the Denver Broncos.
Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.
All right, we'll take another look here at the large-scale pattern early in the week because you can see that moisture off to the south, and again, it's coming at us out ahead of this system here over the Pacific Northwest. What happens through the week is we get this wave to come out at us from Arizona here as we move from Monday night into early Tuesday, and you can see the lift associated with this system off to the west. What we'll watch this week is the upper level lift with this, how it interacts with moisture out across the plains, and that will drive our chances for storms here as we head through the week ahead. And you can see all of the lift with this system. It'll stay off to our northwest here. We get this lift, a couple little waves here rotating up from the south early in the week in advance of that system here, but that lifts off to the north on a time frame that I'm just not sure is going to help us all that much for storm chances on Tuesday. But on the western edge of low-level moisture, we'll keep an eye on some lift as well. As we hit the middle part of the week here, especially Thursday into Friday, not only do we not have energy out ahead of this system, but we also start to bring in some drier air. So I think we pull the moisture chances back, especially over the mountains Thursday and Friday. We'll watch the far eastern plains for the intrusion of the low-level moisture, because if we have that around and you can get one storm to go, sometimes the outflow boundaries from that will start popping other storms. And so you see here on Thursday, we'll still have some of that moisture around in the low levels of the atmosphere. I'm just not sure there's going to be anything to drive it aloft. We'll watch that. As we head into Friday here, we're still keeping the low-level moisture around at least to start the day, but we may decrease it here as we head into the afternoon. So over the eastern plains, a little bit of uncertainty in the forecast for the back part of the week. So I'm going to keep chances of storms around in Colorado Springs Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, the chance tomorrow not looking as widespread as it was a couple of days ago. And I can't rule out a storm here in the cities. I just think there's a better chance of them over the mountains and then out across the eastern plains on Wednesday. As we head into Thursday and Friday, we'll see some drier days here, some storm chances perhaps ramping back up from next weekend into the early part of the following week. And those may have some decent water with them. You can see temperatures generally in the 70s here on our extended forecast. For Pueblo, a chance of storms tomorrow and Wednesday. I think they're just better in other areas. A pretty quiet stretch overall here. I mean, getting to the time of year where there's convection around each day, It's something that we will watch as we move through our extended forecast. I think we get a quieter little stretch here later in the week for Woodland Park. Computer models are still pretty, they get excited about Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak is a 14,115-foot thunderstorm generating machine. And so it's tough to completely take storms out of the forecast. But as we wrap up May and head into June here, we kind of are getting into the heart of severe weather season in Colorado. If you look at over time, June 10th is kind of the peak of severe weather season, sort of ramps up into June 10th and then decreases back behind it because you start watching the monsoon as you get into July and August, which, by the way, may be a better one than we've had as of late around here in Colorado. So that's some good news. All right. Let's see. Check this out. Anna is like problem solving herself today. She's like, Matt, how do I get you on my TV? Through YouTube? You can. You can also watch Roku if you've got Roku. She says, hey, I figured it out. I looked up Peaks to Plains, popped up right away. Anna, way to go. Jim says, thankful for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. I echo that sentiment. That's what I started with today. Donna says, what will the weather be for the Air Force Academy graduation on Thursday? I think pretty good. We just covered that. I think that'll be one of the better kind of days that we've got in the forecast. I think Wednesday is probably okay for the Thunderbird practice as well. And so that's all kind of lining up really well here. I hope you have an opportunity to spend some time with your loved ones today. My son was supposed to be 7 buddies from the cross-country team in college come in. 6 of them ended up coming. 1 of them ended up not. They got here yesterday. They're going to do the incline right now. They've got plans to go out to Grandma and Grandpa's at the ranch. We're all going to head out there together today. Grandma and Grandpa have been calving. They've got some first calf heifers that have been having a hard time. My brother-in-law and father-in-law have had to pull quite a few calves. I really am hoping that there is a calf that is born while the guys are out there today. That would be awesome because a lot of them are from the city and it would just be a really, really cool thing. And then they're going to go up to Breck. They're going to stay in Breck. They're going to hike Quandary. So they've got some big plans. It's still a busy time at the Meister household is what I'm getting at. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for starting your day with me here on Peaks to Plains Weather. We'll kind of get back to normalcy tomorrow. I will probably take a more in-depth look at the forecast than I did today, although it is 6:55, even on a day where I plan to go shorter on the broadcast. We've done a half hour. Anyways, here's to you and yours, and here's to those and their families that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Thanks for spending the start of your Memorial Day with me here on Mornings with Meister on Peaks to Plains Weather.